Hi everyone, Avery here, Spiritual Intuitive, and I want to share some things that I've been talking to my own higher guidance, to my guides about via kind of automatic writing, asking questions, and tuning in. I often give readings and provide insight, but sometimes in my own head, it's easier to get out of the way. And I want to share some of the things I've been talking about with the broader audience because I know that things I'm thinking about are going to affect a lot of people who are similar to me, sensitive people, empaths, intuitives, and just anyone who's kind of on a spiritual journey in life. And so one of the things I've been really asking about is why do I have so much resistance to certain things that I think might be helpful or might be good? Why do I have so much resistance towards certain things? And what should I do about that? And I tuned in, and the guidance was very basically, if you have a lot of resistance to something, you are not energetically aligned with that action. That doesn't mean that it wouldn't be beneficial. It doesn't mean that it's wrong or bad. It just means in this moment where I'm standing, it's not an easy match for who I am. And so there's two things to do. I need to look at whatever I hope for that goal, that action or that thing to accomplish. What is the outcome that I'm looking for? Why am I doing it? And tune in greater to the version of me that's living that life to see if that action is truly leading me there. And if it is, and I say tuning into the version of me, it's like, how would I feel? How would I behave? It's basically becoming more of my future self who has, accomplished this action that I think is leading me down the path where my ultimate goal is, which is hopefully why I have whatever this action is, why I'm choosing it, is that it's leading me on my path that I believe I'm supposed to be on, even if I have resistance. So as I become that version, it will either be natural for me to do that action, or at least easier. We don't have to get it 100% easier, or it will become obvious that that idea to do that was actually based on a more limited self, and it now feels even farther away because it's very possible that we have resistance to something because we feel that it will, we think it will help us, we think it will be useful, but it came from the part of us that was a little bit limited in how easy or expansive life can be. And we may have actually stepped in to more of our future self, but we're holding on to this idea that we came up with before. And I know for a fact, especially in work, I often do that. I have all this programming on how I should get out into the world, how I should interact with people. And I get a lot of it from the internet. I get a lot of it from content that's just coming in, and there starts to get this program that says this is how it should be. But when I'm meditating and I'm tuning into my most abundant self, who's connecting with the right people, who is in her purpose and in her mission, making an impact, those things don't always line up because spirit doesn't really care that much about, whatever program we're running based on what social media has told us is the best business move. It doesn't mean it couldn't use it. It just means it's not limited to what we think is effective. It's not limited to anything, really. And we're here. If you are spiritual and intuitive and sensitive, or discovering that about yourself, or think you might be, we are here to expand the possibilities of reality as it is right now. We're here to make it better by embodying new ways. That doesn't mean we won't do some things that other people do, or get there through similar means, but I hope anyone that's aligned with me that you're on this mission not only to create your dreams and to make an impact, but to do it in a new way that is more in service to humanity than people have done it before, right? How could work be more fun, more joyful, easier, all of those things? And that's what I'm feeling. That's what my guides are telling me. They're like, you could literally just step so much into a different version of you that you wouldn't have to force anything. But your effort would be in getting past all of the old stuff, getting out of the old stories, forgetting so much stuff, and believing in infinite possibilities. And that has not been the easiest thing for me. Like, my mind loves to hear that, but I have a lot of resistance, despite the fact that, I can tune into spiritual beings, I can channel, I can connect, I can intuit, I can read a person, I can know things about them no one's ever told me, right? I can connect with people on the other side, and yet I'm still have those doubts, and I think we all do, because there's just certain programmings that feel safer to our body and to our reality and to our old selves. And we're here to break them, right? So if you are feeling resistance, because I often get people like, oh, I'm feeling resistance, it must not be in alignment for me. And I'm like, well, maybe, right? It isn't right now, in this moment, this version of you, but it doesn't mean it's not in alignment with a version of you that's more liberated, feeling more free and more whole. But it also could be more in alignment with a version of you that's more limited and contracted. And the only way to know is to step deeper into the more expansive version of you. And I've had this recently. I was tuning into greater abundance and just more flow and even more groundedness around money, because sometimes I like the exciting and working on the grounded part too. And the next thing you know, I was like, oh, so I'm going to refinance this, and things I never do, okay? I am a pretty woo-woo mystical girl, and so practical, filling out applications and loans and all of these things, getting better interest rates, I just don't think about. But it just was something that version of me did. I mean, like almost robotically. I'm just like, okay, cool, I'm going to do that. And all of them worked out, and I knew they would work out. I was like, yeah, no, I'll definitely get that, and that's perfect. There's no reason why. And there could have been reasons why, honestly, but nope, completely worked out. So it was just this interesting thing to see that there can be suddenly something that's very practical, that isn't even how I think things are going to show up, is a version of me when I felt even safer and more joyful and more grounded and better in money. I had less resistance to things I wasn't even thinking about doing. I just did them, right? And the same is true. I've suddenly run into the right people. All of these things will line up. But if I'm feeling a lot of resistance to an idea that has come to me, I just may not be that version. And a lot of resistance being the key. A small amount of resistance is pretty normal when something's new. We may be really in alignment with it, but the nervousness of newness is sometimes just needed to push through. So I'd say give it a shot, right? Go deeper and tune in. If the resistance is so much you just can't make yourself do it, or it feels like force, tune into that new version. Who are they? See if it gets easier or harder. If you're standing right there and it feels like a good thing, but you're a little nervous and you just want to run and avoid it, I'd say take the leap. Just try. You're going to be okay. The universe will work with whatever action you do choose if you decide that it will, right? Can't get it wrong. So I'm glad to share this with you today. If you would like more, please subscribe, follow along. I'm going to share a lot more about what my guides are telling me and what questions I've been having and what my journey is with that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and maybe I'll tune in and ask for you. If you'd like to know with your own personal guidance, you can check out my website and get a reading. And if you want to go way deeper into your spiritual path and be guided via a channeled model, so thinking of kind of coaching meets intuition meets healing, check out my mentorships. But thanks for listening.